So on my first lesson, I feel like I had really good radio work, and my instructor felt that way too.
Fox Tower, Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa on right downwind to land, full stop.
Yeah, you're really good on the radios. I think you're, in terms of new students, I think you're probably the best on the radios that I've ever had.
And he said, whatever I'm doing is working. I was really happy to hear this because not only did it stroke my ego, but I don't think I have any sort of natural talent for radio. Though I have been told that I have a great face for radio. So any of my radio success on that first lesson was because of all the practice I put in. So I wanted to share with you all what I've been doing in case it works for someone else too. So I'm not going to teach you what to say on the radio because I'm a brand new student pilot and I'm by no means a radio expert. Plus there are tons of videos already out there that have great information about what to say on the radio and how to learn to talk to ATC. I'll go ahead and put links to a few of those videos in the description. Also, if you have some good resources, go ahead and put them in the comments below. What I am going to teach is how I practice my radio calls after I've already learned more or less what I should say. So I'm going to go ahead and share 5 tips that I use to practice. They've helped me out a lot and I hope they help you too. Tip number 1, make your radio calls when you're flying a flight simulator. Most flight simulators have some sort of built-in ATC capability.
Fox, airport information, Oscar.
But even if they don't, you can still make your radio calls and just pretend that there's an ATC talking back to you. When you're flying the flight simulator, you'll have the most success if you treat it like you're really flying an airplane. So make all the same radio calls, follow the same checklists, and do exactly what you would do in a real airplane. Fox Tower, Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa is holding short runway 24, departure to the west. Tip number 2, integrate your practice into your daily routine. So for example, when I get in the car to drive, I go ahead and make a radio call like I'm getting a ground clearance and then a takeoff clearance. Fox Ground Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa is at transient parking with Alpha, request taxi to the active, westbound departure. In my house, if a kid won't eat, instead of just getting the fork and going, here comes the airplane, I make legitimate radio calls. Rosemont traffic, Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa on final runway 26, Rosemont traffic. Number 3, play. I have a theory that adults are terrible at learning and it's because they have no sense of imagination and they do not play. When we're kids, that's the main way we learn, we play. I think that as an adult, you'll have better success learning your radio calls if you play airplane every once in a while. Whether you're sitting in your airplane for some dry time making airplane noises or whether you're taking an actual toy airplane and flying it around your dining room, go ahead and make real radio calls.
Whiskey Papa, what is the land?
Where's the land? Runway 24 through Whiskey Papa.
Right here.
Number 4, this applies to any time you're practicing a radio call. Do it out loud, whether that's playing with your toy airplane, whether that's getting your ground clearance before you drive your car, or whether that's on your flight simulator. Practice out loud. It always surprises me how well I can say it in my head, and then once I say it out loud, it becomes much more difficult. And I learn this again and again every time I try to record one of these videos. It surprises me how well I can sometimes say something in my head, and then when what was I gonna say? Surprises me how well I can. It always surprises in your ground clearance. Try that again. Tip number 1, always. Also, you want to practice saying the same things you're actually going to say, and I'm always. Let's see. I also think it's important to try it in like a normal volume. Don't just mumble it. Get your mouth used to saying these things out loud. Step number 5, use realistic numbers. So use an actual runway number that you use at your airfield. If you know the tail number of the airplane you'll be flying in or you'll likely be flying in, go ahead and use that actual tail number. Also, you want to practice saying the same things you're actually going to say. I used to play around with it a little bit more, and if I'm driving, I would say, Avalon, whatever, instead of Cherokee 3 Whiskey Papa. Or when I'm feeding my kids, I might say, spaghetti, Foxtrot, Oscar, Romeo, Kilo. And I guess I do that because for some inexplicable reason, sometimes I think I'm funny. But I've stopped doing that, and now I always say Cherokee 903 Whiskey Papa because I'm worried that one day on the actual radio I'm going to say spaghetti, Foxtrot, Oscar, Romeo, Kilo, and that's going to be pretty embarrassing. My kids all know my tail number because they hear me practicing all the time. What is my airplane's number? Yep. So those are my 5 tips. I hope they're helpful. Again, I'm by no means a radio expert. If you don't believe me, watch some of my later flight training videos.
Request downwind departure for runway 6.
Chandran, arrival.
Oh, alright, sorry. We'll get it. We'll take a... dang, I'm grabbing. We'll take off for 3 Whiskey Papa. That was embarrassing.
But these tips helped me, and I hope they help you too. Also, as a final note, editing all these videos, especially while I'm so busy doing flight training, it's been a lot of work. If you like the content, a like and a subscribe goes a long way to help keep me motivated. So thanks for watching, happy flying.